Fatogami challenges Mew and Big Junko to an anything goes pancake eating competition. I don't know how she did it, but in a battle between Fatogami and a giant, Mew eats the most pancakes and is dubbed the World Pancake Champion. Good day, good people. It is another fine Thursday in the of the Ascent Toon Link, Dave, and United States Aviator rising to the top for another episode of Danganronpa Hunger Games. That came in a little too early. I'm fine with it though, because we got plenty of teams here today. As today in the Hunger Games, we are celebrating National Funeral Director and Mortician Recognition Day. Huh. It's one of those things where I was like, huh, not gonna do something about that, but in honor of me not pulling Hu Tao, and I probably won't be pulling Hu Tao, unfortunately, have this one. That's the only reason. And I'm salty. Here I thought about it and I was like, okay, we got tag teams. And if we're really doing this, we're really doing this. So let me pick the top 24 teams that I could see running a funeral direction service. Are you ready for that? Here they are. Prepare for trouble when it comes to passing over to the dark realm, spirits, ghosts, and ghouls. You cannot exclude Gundam Tanaka and Jin. Fusion Ha Taka, just very professional, and Hajime the Asylum. Kaede and Crazy Yoko Extra Large. You know, for the tradition, she's got an extensive history of traditional things in the family. Canon and Corey just explains itself. Dominance, Mew and Clover, Clover. Bodies, yeah, the Power of God in anime, Azuru and Mitarai, the Beanie Brigade, Ryoma and Ruruka, Mind Trip, Pewter, and Yasuke. The Dark Art Specialist, your Agents of Chaos, Lysithia, and Kotoko. The Pure Boys, Izuyue and Joe. Base Bros, Leon and Kyutaro, the Accent Imposters, Teru, and I'm still feeling good from last week. We'll talk about it in a second. Celeste, Small and Mighty, Fuihiko and Chihiro, Shrouded in Mystery, Fatogami and K at your service. Probably the most fitting ones here, Karumi and Nagito, Yin, Yang Despair, Shurikuma, and Junko AI. Say It Ain't So, So and Aiko. The Masterminds, Monokuma. No, that's not Monokuma, that's Monika. And Samuki. Homeroom, Chisa and Kizakura, the Amnesiacs, Ryoko and Date. The Headmasters, Jin and Tengen. The Flourishing Florist, Daisaku and Dedu. The Great Gozu and Jotaro from Mask On, and the Secret Assassins from Maki and Kai. And those are the teams who are here today, so tell me, if your final day was today, which I hope it's not, I hope you're having a good day, good people. Which of these two, in fact, not even that. Let's say, I don't even want to say that. Let's disassociate this. Let's say your third best friend's second cousin's pet giraffe died. We're just gonna completely disassociate this. And the giraffe lived a long and happy and healthy life, but it was just time for it to go. Which one of these teams would you trust to set up the funeral for that fateful giraffe? We'll call him Gregory. And also tell me for a second and third. Just who do you think has the best put together? Who do you think could put together a crackerjack funeral? Tell me that in the comments. I will tell you too. After we calm this down, because I gotta get out the wheel, because it's that time. It is that time again. Tag Team Agents of Chaos. But first, before we do that, can we talk about the fantasticness that was up right now? Celeste winning the tag team titles. No, she didn't do that. That's not what she did. She just won a game. But maybe she'll win the tag team titles today. but it is time. Hit the music. And in 3, 2, 1. I've not been dreading this, but I've seen it. I have indeed seen this. This is the wheel for the Tag Team Agents of Chaos, and it's big. And that's what I've been thinking as the season goes on. This thing's gonna get over half. This thing is more than likely going to hit more than once. And you have to remember, the singles one is always one chunk bigger than this one, because we had an extra singles episode, but let's go ahead. Well, let's roll this thing. And we'll let it go. I wouldn't be surprised if it hit, but I wouldn't be too surprised if it didn't. And it looks like it doesn't. Huh. I guess it doesn't. But once again, next time, it'll be grander. But I'm gonna make my picks. Who would I trust for my third best friend's second cousin's pet giraffe's funeral? Gregory. Can someone tell me if that's actually the exact like phrasing that I said before? Because that was all off of the top of my head. And if I was able to recall that, I'm gonna give myself the greatest pat on the back. Probably at your service. I would trust Nagito's there. I would trust Karumi, but Nagito. Who? Then I think I would trust the Flourishing Florist the most, right? Right? I would. I think I would. Or maybe Fusion Ha. I think that those two teams are the most stand-up crackerjack teams. And I think they're also going to be my picks. Flourishing Florist for first, and Fusion Ha for second. And the Harada dies, the Amnesiacs for third. That's what I got. That's what I'm holding on to. And for right now, I think we can just go on. We've dillied and dallied quite a bit. But instead, I think you guys are, I know what you're expecting, some sort of crazy, fantastic, awesome, but I'm gonna just reach over here and grab the die, and I'm just gonna pull it up, and it's gonna be like normal times. It's gonna be okay. Are you ready? What? Y'all, I know you I don't think you could see it because it was like right under here, but I just had the die in my hand. In fact, calm. What even is this? Oh, it's a letter addressed to me. Hold on, let me get my reading glasses. Dear Avi, it is I, the all-powerful Asnir of the 39th dimension. I am currently taking the day off to travel back to my dimension to visit family, and by no means in an attempt to gain the appropriate resources to take over your dimension. I know the antics between you and I have carried this season, but it appears there is no other day than today to accomplish this feat. I will return by next week at the latest, and by the time you read this, at the earliest, your faithful die, Asnir of the 39. You couldn't have waited until I finished reading. You nasty. Ugh. Ugh. At least warn me. You could. I'm gonna roll this. I'm gonna roll this. We're gonna get this out of the way. Three times. Should've rolled Pablo instead. Freaking Asnir, causing me trouble all season. But that's not gonna cause us trouble today because we're re-simulating. Not one time. Not 2 times. But just half of the maximum amount for that die. A total of 3 times. And thus, it is time to kick off tag team action. A bunch of teams who will plan the funeral for your third best friend's second cousin's pet giraffe, Gregory. Let's go on. Let's proceed to see what unfolds. Because as we start, the bloodbath. The tributes are on their podiums, and the horns. Oh, they're about to sound. Are y'all ready to sound the horns? Yes, indeed they are. There they go. Yasuke grabs as many weapons as humanly possible. Shirokuma finds a kazoo inside of the cornucopia and attempts to play it tremendously, but instead fails tremendously. So refuses to believe that any of this is real. Monica forces Taka to start singing "Please Give Me Wings." Y'all better watch out for those two. Fat Togami argues with Monokuma. Clover runs away from the cornucopia. Date, wow. I'm really just reading today. Date and Kyutaro make a secret pact to work together. Samugi runs away from the cornucopia. Chihiro realizes that dying doesn't mean anything in this endless cycle of despair, so he's gonna live it up this game. Oh, everyone's in trouble. Chihiro's going wild. Kaede and Chisa agree to kill each other last. Dedu finds a backpack full of camping equipment. Kotoko forces Mew to start singing "Please Give Me Wings." I guess you gotta watch those two too. Oh no, Maki grabs a snowboard, and she might not be able to grab one for much longer either. Winter's about to leave the arena. Soon! Real soon! Azuru takes a sickle from inside the cornucopia. No way. Celeste finds a lucky 4-leaf clover. Oh, the gambler luck is feeling good today. Daisaku runs away from the cornucopia. Teruteru grabs Cory by the leg and smashes him against the ground repeatedly. By the time he finishes, Cory has been completely pulverized. Cool! Mitarai comes to the arena to capture Fuyuhiko, a dangerous killer that escaped from an insane asylum. Ryoko, Jotaro, and Ruruka get into a fight. Jotaro triumphantly kills them both. That's the power of my jinx. I'm sorry, Ryoko. Ryoma runs away from the cornucopia. Big Junko runs away from the cornucopia. Y'all don't get squished. Pewter, Lysithea both wrestle over a bag. Tengen comes in and throws pocket sand at the both of them, allowing him to snatch the bag with ease. Just imagine shorter looking Tengen, just like a gremlin that he is. Pocket sand. Throws it out of both pockets, extends both legs at the same time like pocket. That's what's in my mind. Kizukura rips a mace out of Hajime's hands. Maybe it's just No Mace protagonist, because let me tell you, before it was the No Mace Naegi's, now Hajime's losing his mace. Gundam arrives at the lodge, riding on a reindeer. Fitting for the ultimate breeder. Kai runs away from the cornucopia. Jen repeatedly stabs Kozu to death with sighs. Joe, Kei, and Jen arrive to the games of the group and are penalized 50 luck as a result. Kanon opens a pack of gum as she enters the arena. Karumi, Nagito, and Crazy Yoko, extra large, suddenly appear out of nowhere to ask for a piece. Leon begins working on a plan to overthrow Monokuma. Izio runs away from the cornucopia, and Aiko refuses to fall to despair. But will that refusal last for much longer as we go to day 1? Kotoko, instead of she's like, you know what? Chaos didn't reign. I'm gonna take a nap. Kotoko tries to sleep for the entire day. Kurumi sets up an ice cream shack. Nobody comes though. Aiko, Fat Togami, and Chihiro argue over what ingredients to buy for dinner at the arena supermarket. Avi's Wares and Despairs, which is the premier arena supermarket. I don't want to hear anything about no items and misfortunes. I don't want to hear about that. Date steps up an ice cream stand. Samugi joins as his faithful assistant. Monica does a sick flip. I'm sorry, a sick kick flip. A sick flip. Sick. Izoi asks for Gundam's axolotl. Gundam gets confused. Deciding to work together for the day, Kaede and Lysithea build an igloo for shelter. So receives some fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Dedu spends time making a snowman as the snow's about to stop in the arena. Finally, stepping back to admire his hard work, but when he's done, Taka runs up and rugby tackles it to pieces. Who would ever do that? Crazy Yoko Extra Large confides in Jin. Chisa dies of hypothermia. Well, she was like, you know what, this isn't my Agent of Chaos. This is theirs. I'm gonna let them have their fun. Pewter receives medical supplies from a mysterious man dressed as a wizard. Kai and Leon insult one another relentlessly after getting into a bloody fight. Kizakura kills Jin with his own weapon. They're even homies. How could you do it, Kizakura? How could you do it? Fuiko says something wrong and Canon calls them a foolish fool. Izuru is ready for the Year of the Celeste? Please, if that's a sign, I'm here for it. Ryoma pimp slaps Kyutaro off of a cliff despite wearing winter clothing. Miu still feels the cold air around her. Mitarai goes nya to annoy Kei. I feel like Kei might just feel like that's adorable. Clover receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Hajime and Joe hunt for their tributes. Daisaku uses a secret technique, running away. Jotaro and Yasuke have a picnic off of a cliff. Jotaro uses this chance to push Yasuke off of said cliff. Shirokuma and Teruteru play tricks on Nagito while Maki steals from his room. Nagito notices what's going on and in a fit of rage, murders them all. And it's interesting that this has come up, because it rarely comes up, and I think I mentioned that Sunday. And look where it is again. Big Junko reminisces about Season 4, and Tengen tries to sleep the entire day. We lost 11. 11, that's a good chunk of the competition in one day. But it's not enough for a saving grace picks, but it is enough for a Claire de Lune 4. Kori, Ryoko, Ruruka, Gozu, Chisa, Jin, Kyutaro, Yasuke, Shirokuma, Teruteru, Maki. And so if I may have your attention as we see everybody's statuses. The whole first row completely in. Kori's gone from In the Family. Dominance and The Power of God and Anime completely in. The Beanie Brigade lost for Ruka. Mind Trip for Yasuke is gone. Dark Art Specialist and the Pure Boys, the Champs and the Agents of Chaos completely in. Leon still remains for the Base Bros. Celeste for the Accident Imposters, which is the opposite of how it usually is, but you know, maybe Celeste got a winning streak going on, you never know. This whole row completely in. Yin Yang Despair has lost Shirokuma. Homeroom still has Kizakura. The Amnesiacs still have Date. Never count out Date. That's my boy. Never forget, he is my boy. Headmasters have Tengen. Mascon has Jotaro, and the Secret Assassins have Kai. But we still have plenty to go. How many do we have to go? As I click the proceed music. Alive? 37? We still have 37 to go. Oh, we'll proceed. Plenty to get through. As night 1 starts, Izuru confesses his love for Jin. Jin lovingly embraces him, accepting the confession. Huh. Okay. I guess they're just homies for life now. We'll see how that goes. Kai's about to die, but Aiko says, nah, that don't count. That's not gonna happen. Crazy Yoko Extra Large, Kaede, and Big Junko sleep in shifts. Shiro throws a party at his shelter, invites him into Rai Cannon and Tengen. The party turns sour, though, when they all start arguing over what song should be blasted through the speakers. Fuigo, stop being selfish. I can't believe you. Stop being selfish. Gundam's trap kills Samugi. Hajime finds an Etch-a-Sketch and shows Date the portrait he made for Miu? Hajime was cheating on Date with Miu all along? Does that mean Miu has been cheating on Yuno with Hajime all along? Kotoko chases Fat Togami to do and Celeste, trying to enforce a curfew. Nagito tends to sew his wounds. Kizakura hits Leon with some sweet chin music. Karumi makes a banquet for Clover and Izuyoi. They both love the food. Joe buys a plush of Kei and cuddles with it. That's adorable. Lycidia throws what they think is a Molotov at Ryoma. Turns out the Molotov was just a rag. It's not even on fire. You could have just used magic, Lycidia. That's not against the rules. Pewter and Taka hold hands. Monica grabs Kokichi by the throat. Daisaku finds milk and cookies left inconspicuously and eats them, leaving naught but the empty dishes behind. And Jotaro receives an explosion from an unknown sponsor. Will proceed. It's day 2. Monica receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Izuyoi spends the day ice skating on a nearby frozen lake. Clover tries to sleep through the entire day. Miu receives a bottle of poison from an unknown sponsor. So pushes Leon right off of a cliff during a wizard fight. Joe and Cannon go ice fishing together, Kizakura uses a spell to suck the intelligence out of the Supreme Overlord of Ice, which shockingly works, leaving Gundam literally dumbfounded. Jin, you gotta help him out. Kaede, Fuyuhiko, and Chihiro join the Adventurers Guild and are assigned roles based on their stats. Kaede, the Righteous Knight. Fuyuhiko, the Wizened Wizard. And Chihiro, the Janitor. That's actually the strongest role of them all if you didn't know. Janitor stats through the roof. Karumi discovers a river. K receives a first aid kit from the comments. So who out here is sponsoring K? He's a good boy, so I don't blame you. While goofing off, Mitarai and Jotaro build a snow fort. Kotoko, Ryoma, and Crazy Hyoko start fighting, but Ryoma runs away as Kotoko kills the craziest Hyoko, the extra large variant. The dude dies from an infection. It's okay to do. Date receives medical supplies from another sponsor. Hajime makes a finger gun and pretends to shoot Celeste. The gun actually fires, shooting Celeste fatally. Celeste, I know you couldn't have accounted for Hajime gun fingers, but he's had a wizard robe for so long. You gotta expect that. You gotta expect that. Bang bang, and then Kai asks for Pewter's axolotl. Pewter gets confused. Aiko reminisces about season 4. Daisaku panders to the audience. Perhaps. Izuru makes a snow angel on the ground. Lysithia, Big Junko, Tengen, Jin, and Taka hunt for other tributes, and Nagito and Fat Togami trade talents. Interesting. We'll proceed. We only lost 5 that time. Only lost 5. We still have 32 remaining. So after this, Claire de Lune 4. Samugi. Leon. Crazy Yoko. Extra large. Dedu. Celeste. We got 32 left. And you can see who they are. Almost the entire first row. Crazy Yoko Extra Large is gone. In the family with Cannon. Daman is completely in, so is the Power of God in anime. The Beanie Brigade still has Ryoma, Mind Trip still has Pewter, the Dark Arts Specialist completely in, the Pure Boys completely in. Next 2 teams completely out, however. Small and Mighty completely in, Shrouded in Mystery completely in. For the fan vote, don't forget. At Your Service completely in, Yin Yang Despair, Junko AI still in for the fan vote. No, Say It Ain't So, which, still a great name. Masterminds still has Monica, not Monokuma. Homeroom, Kizakura. The Amnesiacs, my man's Date. Headmasters, Tengen. Flourishing Florist, Daisaku, Mask On, Jotaro, and the Secret Assassins for Kai. 32 remain. We haven't had an arena event. We haven't had the feast. I haven't had all of this water. And I can only mean we need to keep going. We'll proceed. Tonight too, Tengen receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Cannon ships Daisaku and Kizakura. Daisaku and Kizakura are incredibly uncomfortable. Fair. Chihiro severely slices Ryoma with a sword. Oof, Taka's about to die, but Kotoko's like, no, that doesn't count. Izuru finds a big red button and presses it immediately as if he were drawn to the glowing light. Fortunately, the button does nothing. Kaede unknowingly eats toxic berries. Aiko panics and tries to cure Kaede and succeeds. Gundam is gentle as so. Despite Kai's desperate begging, Joe decides to leave his campsite. Interesting. What do you two have going on there in that campsite? I don't know, but I want to know. Monica loads her shotgun with the physical form of murderous intent. Hajime and Mitarai, however, just become best friends, bonding over their shared love of 17th century sea shanties. Still the greatest tongue twister of them all. Fat Togami challenges Mew and Big Junko to an anything goes pancake eating competition. I don't know how she did it, but in a battle between Fat Togami and a giant, Mew eats the most pancakes and is dubbed the World Pancake Champion. It's right there, you see it. Clover kills Nagito while he's sleeping. You thought it was Pewter, but it was me, Dio. Izio and Karumi sleep in shifts. Jin gets a hold of Avi's soundboard, and what do you... You know what? That's a glorious boy. And I'm glad he's got the soundboard to play something absolutely glorious. I can't fault him for it. I can't blame him for it, cause I do the same thing. Glorious. Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm gonna take that back. There. Thank you. Kei tried to set a trap. Unfortunately, ends up trapping himself. Fuyiko and Jotaro sleep in shifts, and Date finds a sleeping Lysithea on the ground. Date raises his hand, waving it in front of her face for dusting. Oh no! Wait a minute. Date finds a sleeping Lysithea laying on the ground. Date raises his hand, waving it in front of his face before dusting off his shoulder, falling, and punching Lysithea in the face. Cool! We'll proceed. It's day 3. Big Junko exclaims, "Not the Naegis!" for no particular reason. Lysithea pimp slaps Kai off of a cliff. She's not happy about what happened. Tengen is ready for the year of the Date. I'm ready for that too. Mitarai and Joe build a shelter together, but both of them have conflicting ideas on interior design. Kaede uses their special attack on Daisaku, the Mega Destruction Ball of Darkness and Destruction. It did no damage. Fuyiko uses the seesaw effect and kills Jin. Well, you didn't do it today, Jin, but maybe another day. Aiko and Jotaro have a picnic on a cliff. Aiko, in a strange twist of events, uses this chance to push Jotaro off of the cliff. I bet he was planning to do that again, but instead, she was like, "Oh, I saw it happen the first time. Fool me once, I die, so I can't get fooled this time." Taka asks So if everything's okay. Izuru and Kotoko look for more people to become friends with. Monica, Pewter, and Hajime get chased by a rampaging Canon. Kei tries to find every Monokuma on the school grounds. Kizakura tells Gundam that he is not a clown, but the entire circus is Ioi. Sticks his head in the snow for no particular reason. He just gotta, you know, keep cool, I guess. Chihiro and Mew build a shelter together, but both of them have conflicting ideas on interior design. Clover cleans her kitchen with a new kitchen gun. There's no knife here, just the kitchen gun. I already pitched it already. I'm not gonna do it again. You know, it's kitchen gun. It keeps everything clean, keeps everything nice. Fatogami holds Kurumi's head underwater, but Kurumi grabs his arm and pulls him into the lake with her. Both tributes are unable to kill one another, so they both simply swim away. We lost another 5. 5 more are gone. And that brings us to 27. And thus, to Claire de Lune 4. Ryoma. Nagito. Kai. Jin. Jotaro. We'll see everybody's statuses. Honestly, a slow grind of a game. Gundam, Taka and Hajime for Fusion Ha, The Asylum's Kaede, In the Family's Canon, Dominance completely in, The Power of God in Anime completely in, Mind Trips to Osputer, The Dark Art Specialist and the Champs, The Agents of Chaos and the Champs completely in. If this would have been the wheel getting spun, this would be really tense between these two. This would be the fight of a lifetime. Small and Mighty completely in, Shrouded in Mystery completely in, At Your Service still has Kurumi. Yin and Yang Despairs has AI, Junko AI, Junko absolutely immense, Say It Ain't So completely in, the Masterminds have Monica, Kizakura for Homeroom, the Amnesiacs, Date, Headmasters Tengen, and on the last row, just Daisaku for the Flourishing Florist, but don't count them out. Because it's about to be a new day. And as we proceed to this new day, we might see the feast, we might see an arena event, we might see anything, but it's just night 3. As Date stands over the dead body of Fuyiko that he just shot and says, "I have nothing to do with that corpse." Are you sure? Kaede cuddles up against Mitarai. Lysithea's ultimate move is finally charged. Uh-oh, y'all better watch out. Kizakura and Gundam have a pose off. Gundam wins. Izuru finds a big red button. Again! Another button has been found. These buttons just don't do anything. There's variants that do things. Monica tucks Taka in bed and gives him a goodnight kiss. Oh, that's pleasant. I think Taka might be confused. Mew confesses her love for Hajime. Hajime gives her a look of disapproval. Mew's been cheating left and right today. Was she cheating? She was cheating with Hajime. So you two were cheating together. And Mew was like, and Hajime is still disapproving of it, but he was like, okay, I guess we'll do it, but I'm telling you to. Chihiro and Daisaku take some pictures of the Aurora Borealis before going to sleep for the night. That's just a pure, precious event. Aiko hops into an inflatable cauldron to make jokes about how she is emergency food. She might have a problem. that's less adorable and wholesome. Fat Togami's ultimate was also finally charged. Tengen and Big Junko start kicking cannon for unknown reasons. Clover finishes her nighttime coffee before joining in. Izuyoi, stop being selfish. What are you doing? Kei, So, and Joe cheerfully sing songs together. During the night, a tree falls on Kotoko's camp, pinning her to the ground. By morning, she is dead. But who cut down the tree? It's a mystery to me. Maybe you'll solve it. I don't know who it is. Peter challenges Kurumi to a dance-off. Kurumi absolutely dominates. Good on you, Kurumi. I didn't know she had the moves. Day 4. Daisaku sprains his ankle while running away from So. Peter works out with an abdominal snowman. Tengen starts to hang a mistletoe in the arena, but Azuru swoops in, snaps his arm, and burns the mistletoe. You love to see it. Lysithea drinks some cocoa to stay warm. Big Junko tries to become a beekeeper, but the bees, they aren't happy, and that's not going to be good. That's not going to be good. Oh boy, this is also not going to be good. As Mew, Gel, Kei, Mitarai, Date, and Hajime are forced to play the majority game. Gel received the most votes and was executed alongside Hajime, who was the sacrifice. Dang, Joe losing it in a majority game, that'd be terrible. Canon receives a first aid kit from the comments section. Kaede and Aiko have a picnic off of a cliff, on a cliff, and Kaede uses this. Hold on, first of all, wait, we need to talk about this. First it was Jotaro pushing Yasuke, then it was Aiko pushing Jotaro, and now it's Kaede pushing Aiko, so now we gotta watch out for Kaede if she gets pushed off of a cliff. Something going on with that cliff. That's a mysterious cliff. Gundam confides in Monica. Monica takes notes so she can exploit him later. Kurumi breaks out the cold weather wardrobe. Chihiro wants to be a stepping stone for everyone else. Togami receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Izuyoi's phone rings. There's no caller ID when he picks it up. It's just Taka on the other line insulting him. And Clover kills Kizakura with his own weapon. We lost 7 this time. And now we're at your final 20. An even 20. And after this, Claire de Lune. 4. Fuyuhiko. Kotoko. Big Junko. Joe. Hajime. Aiko. Kizakura. I can't get over the chain of cliff pushins. That's been nuts to me. We'll see everybody's statuses. It's Gundam, Taka, Kaede, Kori, the entirety of Dominance, the entirety of the Power of God and Anime, Mind Trips Pewter, Lysithea for the Dark Art Specialist, who's been hit with a 5-knuckle shuffle. The Pure Boys still have Izuyoi, and the rest of that row is gone. Small and Mighty still have Chihiro. Shrouded in Mystery completely in, trying to get you the fan vote. At your service still has Kurumi. Say It Ain't So with So, the Masterminds with Monica, the Amnesiacs with Date, Headmasters with Tengen, and lastly Daisaku for the Flourishing Florist. Let's go on. 10 more until your saving grace picks. We have to get there. And to do that, we have to proceed. We've had no arena events and no feast. Instead, we're just having night 4 as Mew, Izuyoi, Chihiro, and So track down and kill Monica. They're like, you know what? You gotta go. Despite Clover's desperate begging, Kei decides to leave her campsite. Kaede cries herself to sleep. Cause she knows. Kaede knows what's going on. She's like, I'm gonna get pushed off of a cliff. And she's just sobbing. Kurumi swaps out Avi's pancakes for waffles. Kurumi pays dearly for her crime. Pewter hits Gundam with some sweet chin music, a kick right to the chin. Goodness gracious, Date manages to tame a polar bear for a pet. That should come in handy. Lysithea sings Daisaku a lullaby. Fatsugami and Tengen take some pictures of the Aurora Borealis before going to sleep for the night. Izuru catches a Mitarai with a giant box of comically placed banana peels. Hopefully nobody slips and falls down. Taka does a quick prayer to Atua before going to sleep, and Kanon dies from hunger. Rest in peace. You know, you should never die from hunger in the Hunger Games. There's plenty of food around. We'll proceed to day 5. Tengen sticks his head in the snow for no particular reason. Mew catches Azuru crawled up in a ball, rocking back and forth, sucking on his thumb. It seems like he's lost it. Gundam and Taka build a snow fort together, both of them having conflicting ideas about interior design. Izuyoi and Pewter trade talents. That might be kind of interesting. Date, Chihiro, Kei argue over what ingredients they should buy from the arena supermarket Avi's wares and despairs. Fat Togami fishes. Daisaku and Mitarai fight Lysithea and Kaede. Daisaku and Mitarai survive. The Agent of Chaos and the former tag team champ. A former tag team champ. Both gone in that battle. Looks like they want some new blood. Looks like the tag team titles want some new blood, so poisons Clover's drink, but mistakes it for his own and dies. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. He's perished. We lost another 6. 4 more. Until your saving grace picks. Shockingly enough, we've had no arena event and no feast. It's just been a slow grind of a game, which we get sometimes. But for right now, it is a clear Daylune 4. Monica. Kurumi. Canon. Lysithea. Kaede. So. Now let's see everybody's statuses. There are 14 left. Unless I miscounted. Which is possible. We can check. We'll do an actual check. Yeah, there's 14. I didn't miscount. Never do that. Never, not once. There's been a couple times. Gundam. Prepare for trouble. Taka Fusion Ha. Dominance and the power of God and anime completely in. They are 4 of the 14. Mind Trips to Osputer. Pure Boys have Izuyoi. Small and Mighty with Chihiro. Shrouded in Mystery for the Vanvo completely in. The Amnesiacs for Date. Headmasters, Tengen. And the Flourishing Florist, Daisaku. There's a lot of stuff that's actually going on in this selection of 14. But we'll calm this down and we'll get on with it. I'm not gonna say anything or jinx anyone. Let's proceed and see what happens. Once again, an arena event. Or an arena event or the feast could drastically change this, and we might just immediately go to like your final 3. Let's proceed. To night 5. Clover thinks about home. Kate cooks his food before putting out his fire. Chihiro, stop being selfish. Can't believe you. Don't do that. Azura sets a few more traps before returning to his camp for the night. Fat Togami sees a fire but stays hidden. Mitarai convinces Date to snuggle with him. Tengen, Daisaku, and Gundam enter a scrum debate with Takamu and Izuyoi. They argue about who the best girl in Danganronpa is, and Pewter finds a secret stash of pancakes that AV hypothetically hinted at. I didn't. Maybe I said something about it hypothetically, but I don't quite remember. Nobody perished, so we can just proceed. It is a good time. Might not be a good time anymore. Because the cornucopia is replenished with food, weapons, and memoirs from the tribute's families because it is time for the feast. We all knew it was gonna happen. We all knew it was coming as Mew steals Taka's memoirs. Kei throws a knife into Mitarai's chest. Clover decides not to attend the feast. Izuyoi decides not to go as well. Date snaps Chihiro's neck. Gundam stabs Izuru in the back with a trident. Fat Togami bashes Tengen's head in with a mace, and Daisaku does the same to Pewter. That is the magic that is the feast. A lot has just happened. A team that was completely in is now completely out. Oh boy, and we still have a day to get through. And it happens as Clover impales my pick Date. One of my picks Date. With a machete. Clover, we got some talking to do. Kei tends to Daisaku's wounds. Izuyoi receives a gift from a secret admirer. It's a stuffed bear. Mew overhears Taka and Gundam talking in the distance, and Fat Togami freezes to death after putting on a bikini in the winter. Yeah, that'll do that. We lost a lot. In fact, we are down to your final 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, aren't we? Yeah, we lost 7, we had 14. So, you might need them now after the saving grace. I'm sorry, not after the saving grace pick, after this clear Daylune 4. Mitarai. Chihiro. Izuru. Tengen. Pewter. Date. Fat Togami. Are you ready? Are you steady? Do you quite enjoy linguine? Fettuccine? Spaghetti? I hope you do. Because even if you don't, you'll have an opportunity to make some new picks if you need to. And those picks will be your saving grace picks. For Prepare for Trouble, we have Gundam. Fusion Ha want another shot at those titles. We have Taka. Dominance trying to dominate. We have both Mew and we have Clover. As we scroll down, the Pure Boys. We have Izuyoi trying to get his first win personally. Would be a fan vote. Never forget that. Shrouded in Mystery has K. Would be a fan vote. And the Flourishing Florist have Daisaku. So you know what to do. First, second, third, let it be known in the comments. Like your comment, edit your comment, do what you gotta do to your comment to make your saving grace picks new. It's like a record of your picks from the past. You can go back to any episode and you'll go like, I watched this one, let me see what my picks were. How did I do? Whew, first, second, and third is going to be tricky. So, we are at the point where there's a 2 out of 7 chance that you guys get a fan vote, which is nice. We don't have one for the tag team bracket. There's so many teams that I didn't think it's possible we wouldn't get one. I'm gonna pick the Flourishing Florist, Daisaku for first, and Taka for Fusion Ha for second. Because honestly, I'm surprised that two teams that I picked at the start of this are still in. Shocked, honestly, because this has not been a season for my picks. Give me I don't want to know. I'm not gonna say it. Give me Clover for third. I would like Izuyoi for his first win because it would just be a nice little trend of first wins. But I think RNG has been too nice to us recently, so I think we're gonna get a fan vote. That's what I'm feeling in my heart of hearts. But it might be wrong. It might be incorrect. The only thing I know for certain is that Gundam, Taka, Mew, Clover, Izuyoi, K, and Daisaku are your final 7. And their hearts are beating in unison, their hearts are beating as one, and those hearts are beating with the same pace as that of a samurai woman. Are you prepared? Let's do it. Let's see who wins this one. Are you prepared? Oof, we got good teams. We got good teams in, I won't lie. I'm happy with all of these teams. Let's proceed and see. Ooh, Night 6, Daisaku fins Clover, Taka, and Izuyoi away from his fire. Mew sets Gundam on fire with a Molotov. That's how they work. That's how they work. And of course Mew would know how to do it. K finds a big red button, presses it, but unfortunately I guess the button does nothing. One of these days the button is gonna do something terrible. I promise you. This is building up. So many people have pressed that button. It's gonna do something bad one day, I promise. It's day 7. Taka sets up an ice cream shack. Mew comes and buys some. It was delicious. Izuyoi releases his final smash on Clover and Daisaku. They both lose their final stock. And K accidentally detonates a landmine while trying to arm it. We lost 4. It's just Taka, Mew, and Izuyoi. So after this, Claire, yes. Ooh, for a second I was like, wait, brain, don't say that yet. Don't call it ahead of time, because very much so, an arena event could have popped off, but instead, it is a Claire. No, it's a terrible turnabout, in fact. 4. Gundam, Clover, Daisaku, K. We'll see everybody's statuses. It is a 1v1v1, and they all have something that they want to claim. We have Taka, who wants another shot at those tag team titles. Fusion Ha started off, they were the ascended group of champions. Chihiro, the Ultimate, and Fusion Ha. It was a beautiful start. It was a beautiful end to last season, and they started off strong, and they all lost to Yuta, but they want those titles back. Mew, trying to prove that dominance isn't just a flash in the pan name, they are trying to dominate this game. Can she win for them? And of course, we also have right there at the bottom, Izuyoi, who's never won. He has the Kaito syndrome of being a champion that's never won a game. Could that all change today? They all have a right to this win. They all have something behind this win, something that's motivating them to this win, but only one of them can win. Unless it's a tie, which happens very rarely, but it happens sometimes. But it is Taka, it is Mew, and it is Izuyoi, and our final three. In what we like to call a crisis of fate. One will come out on top. It might all end at once. I don't expect it usually in the other simulator, but sometimes I'm like, it could happen in this simulator, you never know, we'll proceed. It does not, because Taka wakes up from a nightmare where he's falling to death, only to realize he's falling to death in real life too, after Izuyoi throws his bed off of a cliff. Mew walks into a portal and turns it on, her molecules get all rearranged and she gets ghost powers. Fusion Ha fails right at the end. But they still got time. There's still time in the season, but it's still final too. And ladies and gentlemen, I have to ask you, who will it be? In a streak of justice-giving winners, you may not love Yuta, but you gotta love the boys on his team. They would get you a fan vote if Izuyoi won this game. Or you could be rooting for the team who's called Dominance but has never once even been close to dominating. We could have Mew with Akane and Clover. One will win, one will lose. Will it be Izuyoi's first? Or Mew's severalth? And I will have to say this, if chaos would have reigned, Izuyoi winning would be something else, because it would be instead Mew trying to stop them from being the next people to be undisputed, because that's what she wants, that's her style, that's her vibe. But it is Izuyoi, it is Mew, it is Izuyoi, it is Mew. One will win, and that one will be Izuyoi begs, pleads for Mew to kill him. She reluctantly obliges, killing Izuyoi, which means it is indeed a terrible, terrible turnabout for Taka, Izuyoi. What can I say? You don't bet against her. Even when her team hasn't been doing the hottest, but today they were dominant. I'll have to say that. As we proceed, we see for certain the true winner. Finally proving that dominance isn't just a name, that they aren't just a flash in the pan act. They finally win a game in dominant fashion. Representing dominance once again, it is your undisputed Mew taking the win. I don't know, look. You can't ever sleep on Mew. You can't. You simply cannot. We'll proceed. She got 3 and Clover got 3. Their team together, they got 6. I'm pretty sure that they are the team with the most KOs in total. I don't think anyone else comes close to that. Daisaku with 3. Dedu didn't have any. Yeah, I don't think any other team get close. That's nuts. They won in dominant fashion. They both finished in the top 10, and that's dominance if I've ever heard it. The only other way that they could be more dominant is if they were first and second, which has happened, which was Ultra Despair Girls. They probably don't want to mention that, but you know what? I'm gonna mention it. But they did win, and they came out in dominant fashion. Mew in first, Izuyoi in second, Taka in third, Kei in fourth, Daisaku in fifth, Clover in sixth, Gundam in seventh, Bat Togami in 8th, Date in 9th, and Pewter rounding off your top 10. There it is. Alright, I'm pleased with that. That's awesome. This is nuts. That was nuts. Good on them. Good on Dominance. I was in my heart of hearts, I was hoping for Izuo to pick up his first win. Not today. He picks up another second place. That's heartbreaking for him. But good job to Mew. And good job to Akane, who will be going to another title match. It's been a hot second since she's earned herself a title match instead of like either getting fan voted in, getting a secret achievement, anything like that. I don't even know if she's ever hit a secret achievement, but good job. So Mew, Akane, and Clover. We'll do a slow scroll for everyone else. See how your picks did, but we will proceed to tell the rest of the story. It all started with Teru doing the cartoon-style demolishment of Cory in the house. And it ended with Izuyoi begging for Mew to end this, and Mew reluctantly obliges, and she's like, okay, fine, I'll do it. Takes out Izuyoi. Apparently he didn't want justice today. Maybe he knows something that we don't know? Maybe that will only build chaos up even more? Maybe he's scared of who would be voted in if they won. I don't know. I think Izuyoi's got a plan. I think he's smarter than we let on. Mew wins though. Dominance wins. And they got what? Yeah, 3-3. Nobody else really topped that. Izuyoi with 4 though. He's our top killer of the day. They're our top team in terms of kills. Nakito, Daisaku, Jotaro, Mew, and Clover had 3. I read that so out of order. Chihiro, Date, Gundam, Mitarai, and So with 2. Everyone else with 1 or less. 1 or less. Dominance, Pure Boys, Fusion Ha. They were all. It was a tight top 3. It was a clutch top 3. But Dominance proved their dominance. And you can see their dominance now as we bring up, as I go back to the reaping, the tag team bracket. Mew, Akane, and Clover have finally proven their dominance. And they're heading to the finale. And they could have been champions today if Chaos would have reigned, but you know what? Chaos is chilling for the tag team bracket. We'll see if it chills for the singles bracket tomorrow. I don't think so. I really don't. I really don't. I feel like there's going to be a week when both of them hit. I think the last week both of them will hit. I do. I truly do. Do I think the OC one will hit? I do. I think it'll hit twice. I really do think it'll hit twice. I think we're gonna get good RNG or bad RNG if you're rooting to have the champ stay the champ. But you know what? We'll see what happens. This was the game. Congratulations to Dominance. I didn't expect it. They've been such an afterthought this like entire time that they've been together because they have not been dominating. They've come in last a whole bunch of times, but this was their shining moment. This was their dominant game. 6 KOs, that's a dominant game. They did pretty good. Congratulations to them. That's the end of the episode. Until tomorrow, where we have more fun things happening. Yeah, I won't say anything about it. Stay classy. Year of the Ascent. Toon Link Day of United States Aviator. Toodaloo. Like, thanks for watching.